Ready, Larry? No, the microphones, I'd leave them loud because people are complaining. Are we, we're live? All right, Gabriel, would you like to bang the gavel and call the meeting to order? Just say, start the meeting, bang the gavel.
Start the meeting.
All right, Gabriel is our supervisor of the day. You're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to invite Bishop Sella to come do the invocation. Just say, Bishop Sella, can you come up and do the invocation? Bishop Sella, can you come up and do the invocation? Stand. He's going to say a prayer.
Father, bless the residents of our communities. May they live together in peace and harmony and have what is necessary to face each day with dignity and confidence. Bless those who protect public welfare, police, fire, personnel, those who care for roads, parks, those responsible for public health. May they have the good sense of purpose to do their jobs well. Bless our officials here this afternoon and those they have chosen to work with them. By electing them, we have placed in their hands our common good. Give them wisdom, prudence, patience, foresight, dedication, and the spirit of cooperation so that they may foster the well-being of all our communities. Especially now as we prepare for another election, we ask for God's blessings on all the candidates, on all of us who will be participating, for the gift of wisdom to make choices for the common good. We pray this to the God who is the God of peace and justice. Amen.
Gabriel, would you like to stay or are you going to go? All right. Gabriel is the supervisor of the day, and he has got some other pressing engagements. You want to go down? Mom's right there.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Supervisor.
Gabriel. We appreciate it. And once again, Councilman Wooten was denied a raise by the supervisor for the county. Thank you, Gabriel, for coming.
It's going to go first, do you know?
Thank you, Gabriel.
No.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to hold it out. You can let me know.
Laura, you staying too? Okay. Let's get started.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes of the September 16th and the special town board meeting of October 1st. So moved.
And
seconded?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Abstain.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The town board minutes are approved. Want me to just go right into reports and such?
Yes, Gabriel wanted to go to Kent Animal Shelter to the cattery. I'm allergic to cats, so there were 50 cats crawling all over us. Well, not me, but okay.
Might be suffering a little bit, huh?
Okay.
Under reports, the sewer district submitted their discharge monitoring report for August. Town clerk monthly report for September, $13,231.26. Building department submitted their monthly report for September, $136,938.17. Police department submitted their monthly report for July. IDA submitted their 2016 proposed budget. Under the fire districts, the Jamesport, Riverhead, and Wading River Fire District submitted their 2016 annual budget summary. Under applications, there was a special permit application for Wireless Towers LLC, Gammon Holdings LLC, for public utility wireless communication antennas, and that's Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-67-2-26.3. Under correspondence, there were 4 letters expressing concerns and/or opposition as to locating a medical marijuana facility at the old Blockbuster building on Route 58. Group for the East End sent a letter regarding the proposed addition of Article 25, farm stand review. Under Conservation Advisory Council, there were 2 resolutions. Resolution 18, National Grid, and Resolution 19, Garrett Moore. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Diane. Any other town board reports?
No, except that this Sunday is the 40th annual Riverhead Country Fair, so you have to make it this Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Be in it to win it?
Be in it to
there
win
or
it.
be square?
Starts at 10, from 10 to 5. It's right on Main Street, East End Arts property, and riverfront, so. If you haven't, I'm sure everybody's been to the Riverhead Country Fair, but you got to come this year. It's gonna be special.
See you all there. All right, let's get started. Our first public hearing was scheduled
For 2:10.
for 2:10. Yeah, no, I have something in here. Annual budget. This that was.
It says 2 o'clock on the hearing notice.
Yeah.
I don't know why it says 2:10.
No, that's the annual budget. It
That's
wasn't.
for November 4th.
Yeah. Oh,
We're having public hearings here.
Did they put it in?
yeah. No, it
Oh,
shouldn't. Yeah,
okay,
no.
that shouldn't be
It's
right.
Supposed to read it?
All right, ignore that.
Yeah, we're ignoring that.
I was wondering.
No, I think they were just going,
It's in there.
it's in my package here.
This thing here, the legal process, pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll get to that.
No, that was. I don't. I'm just looking for. Do you have the public hearing notice
The vehicles and traffic
for
that we're doing
vehicles and
today?
traffic for
You
210?
don't have that one?
No.
Isn't this vehicle traffic?
Yeah, that's the super. That's the.
Oh, did they
that's
put the
what we
wrong
did
one in?
That, yeah, that's what we did.
They put the wrong one, okay.
This is what we did in the
That's okay.
special meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so now it's stalled. Is it 210 yet?
No.
Okay. We need Harry's
Yeah.
house to store. She's good.
That's the one we had the
So
special-
keep everybody
Right,
entertained.
we call it
Okay,
special
so
segregated section.
why don't we do this? Let's take comments on resolutions. Does anybody wish to be heard on resolutions? Sal Mastropolo.
Thanks.
I don't want to get us a few moments. How you doing, Sal?
Good. Resolution 691. The third paragraph, I think you want to strike with the bid number as on the.
Third paragraph on page 2.
Yeah, the notice to bidders.
Say that again, what you saw?
Okay. There are four resolutions for public notice for bidding. The fourth one never mentioned a bid number. It just said clearly marked and whatever the bid was for, like paint, work clothes, etc. There was no reference to a bid number. So for consistency, either you're going to have that statement in there or you're not going to
Oh,
have it
okay,
in
the
there.
bid, oh, with the
So
bid
strike
number.
with the bid number as on the,
Okay,
and just say paint.
clearly marked paint.
Right.
Does that make sense to you, Diane?
Actually, they're all
You want to take out clearly marked paint, because you don't have a bid number for
clearly
them.
marked. Okay.
Right.
Makes sense.
692 is the same comment.
Because you don't have bid numbers for these, is that correct, Diane? They're just
Should say clearly marked propane.
propane. Sounds good? Does that work for you, Diane?
693 is the same thing. Clearly marked 2016 specialty vehicle.
Okay.
All righty.
Resolution 706, the second whereas, strike as well in the second line.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
And on the second page of the alcohol policy, under general considerations, the third line down, the fifth word in, strike the word be.
I don't need this.
Under general considerations, which paragraph? The third paragraph?
First paragraph, the third line down, the fifth word in, strike the word be.
Areas are B off. Well,
Right.
it's-
Okay.
And then go down to the second paragraph. The second line, after all applicants, I don't know what you want to say here. It says all applicants must comply the required filing dates.
With the,
Must comply with,
with,
Must comply with.
okay.
Resolution 710. The first resolved, the second line down, it says in substantially the same form as annexed hereto. Well, there's nothing annexed on this thing. There's no attachment, so.
And do you have the Evo?
Either you're
contract?
missing an attachment or take out the,
I can ask Dan, he was, Dan was working on this, I don't know if they have an attachment.
We can amend it to attach the contract, right?
I would say that, I think, yeah.
Looks like it's yours, 710. Attach the contract.
Just, which
Attach the contract.
agreement? All right, so we should have the agreement annexed to it. Can you call Dan? See- We'll see if we can get the agreement. It's just same agreement with,
6 and 5.
6
okay,
o'clock.
718,
Dan, do you have the EBO contract for you? It's supposed to be next to the resolution.
yes,
the second page of the agreement. Go down to compensation. The third line down says shall pay the town $130.09 per hour. Well, in the Labor Day agreement, you charged $146.06 an hour. So why aren't we charging the same hourly rate for this one as we did for the Labor Day?
well,
Chief?
Dave, do you have any, can you shed any light on that? Why we changed different between the Labor Day agreement and the one that we're doing now
Black
for
Friday
Tanger?
and Christmas holidays.
I think you and Bill probably need to confer on that one. It's
Okay.
Resolution 718.
On page 3 of the agreement, they obviously copied the Labor Day agreement because they didn't change Labor Day sales to Black Friday and December 5th, 2015 holiday sales. So strike Labor Day sales in item number 4 and item number 5 and replace it with Black Friday sales and December holiday sales.
All right, well, we'll figure out what the amount is because it should not have changed.
Resolution,
Might have been years ago. Per office.
Yeah, but I think we do an average.
726, in the public notice. Take out to receive approximately, it was repeated twice in the first sentence of the please take notice.
Where are you looking, Sal?
726, the please take notice. The words
Where?
to receive approximately $103,130 was repeated twice in the same line. It says in April 2016, the town of Riverhead expects to receive approximately, in the public notice.
Must have
Well,
something.
that's good because I don't have the public
Yeah,
notice.
You must have something.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Okay, this was,
Yeah, this was.
these were the CDA resolutions that were renumbered to 725 and 726.
Oh, so it's 727 is the resolution that we have
Okay.
for the notice.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Jill, just have Chris.
Okay, see, mine
wa-
is
hold-
726.
Yeah, hold on a second. Chris, we have two, can you come up to the microphone?
Oh, it's in both of them, actually. Both of
Show
the public
Chris.
notices have the same mistake.
Still don't see this one.
I don't see it on 726.
It's
I see it
727.
on
And
727.
726, both public notices.
There's not a public notice. 726 is an award.
726, you gave me He gave me 726 and told me it replaces Resolution 14, okay, which is the same thing. And here's the public notice.
What should be saying on the public notice is that the town really expects to receive approximately, so there's a double verbiage.
Right.
I see that, but I don't see what else.
No, I don't think there's a public notice on 726. I think that was
Here's the
inadvertently
public notice
stapled.
for 727. It's the same error.
726 doesn't have a notice, right? I'm thinking, Chris? No. That's just an extra page, Sal.
Just an extra copy of the CDA one.
Right,
So we did two.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Got it?
That's
And
it.
Thanks, Sal.
okay, I've got
We'll
it.
figure out the police number. That's something we need to know. I don't know what we do without you. 7:10 having arrived, it is now
7:10.
7:10. I mean 2:16. It is now 2:16. I'm going to open up a public hearing on the consideration of a proposed local law amending Chapter 101 entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the Riverhead Town Code, Article 5, Parking, Standing, Stopping. No parking certain hours, municipal parking lot between Union Avenue and Maple Avenue in Riverhead. And this is the lot where Sonoma Grill is now located. And we open that public hearing. Does anybody wish to be heard on this matter? Okay, not seeing anybody, we will close the public hearing and leave it open for written comment until the 16th of October in the town clerk's office. If anybody wishes to comment, please leave it, please respond to the town clerk's office before October 16th, 4:30 p.m. Now we go to the resolutions. That was quick.
Did Phil Barbado want to speak on the resolutions?
Yes, I think we're
Or
going back
cut
to
him
that.
off?
I didn't cut them off. We opened the public hearing. Now we're going back to resolutions. Okay, public hearing's open and closed. Phil, you didn't want to discuss the public hearing on the parking, did you?
No, sir, I
See-
wanted to comment on the resolution.
See how quickly we dispensed? In the time it took you to walk up there and talk to Chris, we closed out a public hearing. We are quick here. Phil, what do you want to talk
Jinx
about?
I just had some comments on Resolution 707. I'm really not sure why I'm even here, because it seems like it's already a done deal, but I do have some comments.
Okay,
I'd like to know where all the farmers are that are in favor of this. The last time this was held, there was no farmers standing up
wait,
speaking
hold on,
in
Phil.
favor of it.
If you could just raise your hand if you're a farmer and you're in favor of this. Okay, so you've got about a half a
Wow,
dozen.
4 people, that's pretty good.
No, there's at least a half a dozen back there.
Well, and I also want to add that we had a work session, and Representative, including the Executive Director of Farm Bureau was there, Farm Select Committee, Ag Advisory Committee, and Farm Bureau's Local Affairs Committee. They were all present and in support, and they represent a broad, there's so many different ag committees, and they were all part of the last work session.
I'm glad you brought up the Farm Bureau. I've spoken to 2 Farm Bureau board members, and neither one of them have even seen the letter from the Farm Bureau that was dated September 28th.
Well,
So
directors
I don't
here,
think
so
it
we can
was.
comment.
I don't think it was discussed at the Farm Bureau.
Okay.
At
Well,
all.
they came and supported it and spoke, and you have at least 6 major farmers, well, I don't want to say, major land-owning farmers here in support of that.
What else?
Well, as far as I know, the
take
farmers
your
I've spoken to are not in favor of it.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if some farmers are just against it and fed up with the system and don't see any need to come down here and willing to speak against it. I've spoken to a couple that feel that way. Unfortunately, I think under the guise of trying to help farmers, this legislation will simply make it easier for non-farmers to cash in on the generations of hard work and the goodwill created by the farmers here on the North Fork. It's not going to have the effect that it's advertised as having. I think the intentions are good, and I applaud them, as everyone else has. But I think you're ignoring the long-term impact of these changes. The 250-mile radius is ridiculous in plain English. Once the buying public understands that the North Fork produce is from anywhere, they'll simply go to a supermarket rather than brave the traffic and the lines and the trouble of getting out here. And legitimate farmers are the ones who are going to suffer. This is not to mention that there are a number of legal problems with the existing wording. First of all, I think you've made changes again since the last hearing, and there's been no new hearing. So simply going to a resolution is a mistake. I think the environmental impact has not even been addressed. If you're going to have 97 more farm stands on Route 25 and Sound Avenue, you haven't looked at the traffic impact and the health
Listen,
and safety impacts of
Can I
that.
just make a comment, Phil? I won't interrupt if you don't, can I?
Certainly, you're the
You
councilman.
said there's 97 more farm stands on Main Road.
That's potentially what you could have.
Right.
No, Main Road and Sound Avenue, I'm
And
sorry.
Sound Avenue, okay. North of Sound Avenue, none of that land all the way east and west is APZ. You can have a 1 acre farm stand right now and bring in your beets from China. There's no regulations on it. Okay, this only applies to APZ. Now let's look at Main Road. The whole south side of Route 25, no APZ. I'm talking about 105 coming to North Fork. The north side, if you look at it, with Roller Court, et cetera, a small portion is APC, touches the north side of Marine, nothing on the south side, nothing on the north side of Sound Avenue. So what this will do is probably work towards preserving those areas, because if you put a farm stand with this legislation on the north side, it's got to be greater than existing zoning. So for maybe a 1 acre lot, it has to be greater than existing zoning. So if anything, you're restricting those areas more. The map is right outside this door on the wall. You can see it. There is no APZ. Right now, the 7 acre rule, I think that's the miscommunication to most people. The 7 acre existing rule only applies to APZ. All these other districts, residential districts in Town River, you can have a farm stand there on 1 or 2 acres. It's allowed now. This regulations are only put on APZ land.
You would still have to meet the assessment requirements for
Yes.
agricultural
To
assessment.
be a
Yes.
farmer, right. But if this will restrict it on those 2 barriers, it's actually helping to preserve the rural character of Sound Avenue and Main Road.
You have to have an ag assessment upon application to the planning board for a farm stand. So you have to currently prove to the assessors that you have $50,000 in sales, and only 40% of those can be from regionally grown. The other 60% has to be locally grown. So it's, you have to be in an ag assessment, which means you're in an ag district, and you have to be active when you make application for the farm stand.
But the other 60% has to be locally grown, meaning
right.
anywhere in New York State or anywhere within a 250-mile radius.
No, because the definition was changed to regionally grown from locally grown.
So what is locally grown?
Locally grown is on the farm. It says on the property that's being farmed.
I don't see that definition in proposed
It's in here, right, Emery?
regulations.
That's the intent.
So it should put out. And what we got to understand, I mean, some people advocates say, well, you should grow 100% of it. And you probably know this, most people don't, there's a number of farms throughout Riverhead that all they do is grow
It's on the farm stand, right?
for farm stands. There's some on the North Fork, I could, I know they are, you know they are.
Sure.
So if we didn't allow that 40%, could include them, they'd be out of business tomorrow.
It's,
They need the farm stand as much as the farm stand needs some of that local. Regionally is pushing it out to 250. Right now in the code, there's no restriction on 250. That's restrictive. Right now, once again, that 40% goes to the old code, says 60-40. You can bring that in from China. So that's actually bringing it down to 250. And really the intent was Pumpkin Farm is, no one says it's got to be 40%. Some farmer may even bring 5% in, or maybe the early spring bring some tomatoes up from New Jersey so he can open his farm stand. I mean, how many local product is ready in April? It really isn't. Yet we're competing with the supermarkets that, under their definition of local, could be Connecticut. You can go out now, go right in a supermarket and get lettuce, and it'll say product of Connecticut. It says locally grown. And they can bring stuff in from anywhere, so that's who we're competing with.
I think
And that's just a small
the average
point, but-
person who comes here to the North Fork and goes to a farm stand, when they hear the word local, they think
It
North
will be
Fork.
local. It will
They
be
don't
local.
think China. They don't think Pennsylvania. They don't think New Jersey.
That's what supermarkets are doing.
Yeah, so
60%.
why, why go to a farm stand anymore if
Well,
it doesn't
because
mean
it is
anything?
local. 60% of it's,
has to be grown on the farm.
Well, that's one of my other points. How in the world are you going to enforce this? The wording is 40% of the products offered for sale. No more than 40% of the products offered for sale. What is that? Is that the number of items? Is that the sale volume?
So
Is
we
that the
don't really
cash
enforce it.
receipts?
Wait, the farmers are kind of enforcing it and assess it. He goes out to assess that the product is being grown. If you're looking for an agricultural assessment, you got to prove you're a farmer. So we know who the local farmers are. Right now, though, I don't think we should hire a bunch of farmer police, go out to all the farm stands. I think generally the local farmers are doing a good job.
So you agree it's unenforceable and they don't care?
I don't say you don't care. I'm sure local farmers care what's on that product.
All right,
Who's
But
going to
that's
enforce
a
it?
moot point because we don't do it
what is
now.
it- what is it-
Okay, all right.
Phil, if we could move it along.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm not the one that's slowing it down.
I don't know, Mr. Barbado, if we could move it along, Mr. Gabrielson.
I'm saying,
you're
what is,
okay with moving it
how
along?
do you enforce something that says 40% of the products offered for sale? What does that mean?
That's,
40% of the products offered for sale. What does that mean?
What does it
I'm an
mean?
enforcement officer. I'm going to your farm stand. How
Well, he's not
do
going to
I
the farm
judge
stand.
that?
well, the complete sentence says, in addition to on-farm produce agricultural products, a farm stand may include the sale of regionally produced agricultural products and enhanced agricultural products, provided that the regionally produced agricultural products and enhanced agricultural products shall not exceed 40% of the products offered for sale. The assessor's office, the farmers have to come into the assessor's office every year, show their receipts for their sales, and show what their sales were from in order to continue to get the ag assessment or the reduced assessment.
No, they don't.
Okay.
They have
They have to show
dollar
their
amount.
total
That's a moot
receipts.
point, yeah.
Okay, so we've made this point.
We've heard it.
Okay, so you
I'm
have
not
an
arguing with
unenforceable law, is my
Well,
point.
no,
And
Phil,
you more or
Mr.
less agree
Barbado,
with me.
we could send code enforcement, and it would be obvious if you picked up this mug and they had a potted plant in it, it said made in China, you could say it was made in China. I mean, it is
Then-
enforceable.
Then, sir, how do you
Is it-
determine if that's
it-
40% of the products offered for sale?
Well, that's a mathematical equation. If you look at the shelves and you figure out what percentage was off, was out of the regional area, I guess you could assess a penalty to that farmer, but I don't think anybody's looking to get down at that level.
My point exactly.
Exactly. So can we move,
I think that it's
forward with the
still
testimony.
poorly written. There are errors in logic and in English in there, and they need to be corrected. And otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to administer. But apparently, you don't care about that either. The requirements for approval are not even as simple as they're advertised as being. If you look at what it takes to get an approval on this so-called expedited review, it's not that simple at all. So I'm wondering, how do you meet that statement that this is supposed to be helping a farmer to get approval? It doesn't look simple to me at all. And the last point I want to make is this is so far off from our neighbors in Southold, the Suffolk County definition of what local is, that sooner or later the customer or the consumer is going to pick up on this. They're not as silly as you think they might be. And they're going to say, well, the hell with it. I'll just go to Stop and Shop and get my pumpkins or my tomatoes or whatever. It comes from the same place anyway. So I think you're doing a disservice rather than a service. That certainly wasn't your intention. I agree. You have all the best intentions. But I think you need to look a little further down the road and see where this is headed.
Thank you, sir.
I still think there's those out shopping farm stands.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said, there's those that go to the farm stand for more than just the produce. They go for the environment, they go for the agritourism, they go because it's a nice day to go out and do that. I shop during the summertime at farm stands. My wife, on the other hand, will run the best yet. So I think it's a matter of choice. I don't think people are going to say, well, the farm stand got their lettuce from the same place as the supermarket, let's all go to the supermarket. I just don't buy that.
I think buying from the farm stand is supporting the local economy.
Ms. Smith, if you could
Yeah,
just
Laura
state your...
Jen Smith from Laurel. I would like to address Resolution 705 and 707 because I think they're intrinsically linked. First of all, I do not think that both of these resolutions should be adopted at the same time. One is for the expedited farm stand review of 30 days, and then the other one is to change the zoning for where a farm stand can be.
I know that you were addressing the 97 farm stands, but I did check with the town GIS system, and it actually is 324 parcels. If you do the 2-acre zoning in the APZ zone, that would potentially qualify to be able to put a farm stand on it. So it's much more than the 97 that you're talking about. I think that, it's just a big mistake to do the two of these together. I think that one of the other issues that I think that really needs to be looked at with that 60-40 for the farm stands, 60% to be grown on farm and 40% to be grown regionally. There is also a bit in here that a farm stand may include sale of decorative containers, pots, tins, and other non-agricultural products directly related to presentation and packaging for sale of the agricultural products. And such items shall not be deemed to constitute the 40% of regionally grown or enhanced agricultural products. So that would be in addition to the 40% that is not grown on farm. So if somebody grows apples and they decide that they want to sell a pot holder or a plate to put the apple pie in, and a pound of butter as part of their 40%. All of those accessory items, are those considered presentation? Are those considered packaging if you put it in a nice little basket? How is that going to be determined? Because it's not clearly defined. And I think that that's one of the major problems with this resolution is that things are not clearly defined. Another reference that people have been talking about is that you need to be assessed, agriculturally assessed. But there is in here for principal use, which then is also for the criteria to be eligible for farm stand review, which is defined as section 8.3. And in section 8.3, you do, I think, Anne Marie, you have said it several times what it is to be a farm. But then there's a caveat in here that says or. It's not and, but it's or. Such other local, state, or federal entity qualifying and certifying that the land is a bona fide agricultural production as of the date of the application of the farm stand review. It doesn't say it must continue as a farm. It just needs to be certified by somebody, and what a local entity is, I don't know, because that's not defined. Does that mean the town board may declare somebody a farm? Does it mean the ag committee may define somebody a farm? Is it the planning committee? Is it the zoning board? Who is that entity that can declare this an agricultural property?
Did you want to address
If it's
it?
for
Yes, Anne Marie, I'm going
The
to
town
question.
is not vested with that authority. That reference is intended to include the New York State DEC, if you had an aquaculture operation, the USDA.
What's local then? It says local here. Local entity. What would be the local entity?
It could be Suffolk County
Fourth page.
Soil Conservation,
But
Suffolk
could this
County.
town board decide
No, they don't have jurisdiction.
jurisdiction over, but this,
To
what,
certify that an operation is in ag production.
but it says right here, local entity. So what is your local entity? Why can't they define, what is the
We're
definition
going
of
to take the
local?
comments.
Okay, yeah, okay. So that's
Not
my
cross-examination.
reservation, so I hope you'll take them into consideration.
Okay, thanks.
This just in on the Tanger front, it shouldn't have any dollar amount, Sal, because it's a direct bill, whatever what's Sal called? Oh, there you go, whatever we get charged, we bill, and that was, I don't remember what number it is, but this is the attachment.
710, this is the attached.
Okay, Mr. Krupnik from
Northville.
Northville.
Clearly, there are a number of questions, concerns, and confusion over these two pieces of legislation. A number of people have actually suggested that it's a good start, but that adjustments can always be made next year. Are you listening?
I'm sorry. No, if you could just bear with me, we're fixing resolutions. Just bear with me. This was 710. I'm learning to multitask.
We're good.
My wife would be so proud. What else we have? Good? And Diane, I didn't give copies of everybody to the other one, so when we call that, you can hand those up for the police services agreement.
Oh, for this one.
Yeah,
Yep.
that board didn't get copies, but we have, okay, we're good? Multitasking over. Mr. Krupnik, we have our full and undivided attention
Thank
on you, sir.
As I was saying, there are a number of people who have said that this legislation is a good start, and that if there are any problems, they can be passed on to the next administration and fixed next year.
What are you saying? I'm not going to be here?
Well, I'm very flattered that you're all confident that Laura, Tony, and I can handle any problems that this flawed legislation might bring us. I don't understand what the rush is. There obviously are problems with how it's written. People are obviously confused. I think there definitely needs to be another public hearing. You want to spend a year deciding on one medical marijuana dispensary, but you're ready to fast-track this legislation that people clearly have a problem with. And we haven't heard from everybody in the community in terms of how they feel about it.
You know,
So
when
I'm
this
urging you to
legislation-
I'm urging you to table this, to not vote on it today, and to call another public hearing.
So just for your information, just because it's almost pathetic, but this legislation started with me in the town attorney's office when I first got hired in 2000. And it went through a bunch of machinations, then it went to the next town attorney, went through a bunch of and then it went in the drawer. This is hardly fast-tracked.
Well, and it's still flawed after all that time.
Thank you, sir.
So says you.
Thank you.
Sal?
Let's see it from Dennis first.
Resolution 707. Under definitions, you have enhanced agricultural products. That paragraph is very confusing. And I'd like to read you something, and you tell me if what I'm saying is correct, and if it is, then maybe you should change it. Okay? Agricultural products which are processed beyond cutting, drying, freezing, or packaging. The agricultural products have added ingredients not produced on the farm and may be cooked, cultured, canned, or bottled. Period. Okay? Put a period there. The added ingredients cannot be more than 50% of the total ingredients and must be sourced from the local farm or regionally grown. At least what I'm reading makes sense if my understanding of what the 51% is. The way you have it written, it's very confusing, and I see this as a problem area in the future because people are going to try to stick stuff in as enhanced agricultural products. So this paragraph is very important.
So you're saying a period after bottled,
Yes.
do away with the
What's
word
that?
with, capitalize
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
No,
This-
then pick up what I'm saying. And if I say something wrong, correct me because I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say.
Markets and just maybe words.
The added ingredients cannot be more than 50% of the total ingredients and must be sourced from the local farm or regionally grown. And strike everything that you have after the word bottled and replace it with what I just said, if my understanding of what you were trying to say was correct. You want me to go over it again?
Henry, you got it?
George,
I-
did
I-
you understand what I
You could
said?
do a semicolon in there and
Yeah.
accomplish the same thing,
Put a
can't you?
semicolon.
Yeah, I believe that was taken directly from New York State Ag and Markets Law. But I'll look.
But I think he's saying the same thing. It's just saying it in
A
layman's
lot
terms.
clearer, right, right.
Right,
Well, I think their desire was to be consistent with New York State's definition.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it clear in all cases.
No, I agree with you.
That's what they
Okay.
followed.
But I think that's why they chose that language.
So you're saying cultured, canned, bottled, period. Added ingredients cannot be more than 50% of the locally,
The total ingredients
the total.
and must be sourced from the local farm or regionally grown. Now it's very clear, okay? You can have no more than 50% of the total ingredients can be added, and it must be sourced locally or regionally.
And it's 51.
51, isn't it?
You wanna, can you pull ag and markets? Is that something you could find quickly?
We can hold off on this resolution till the unsocial issues are handled.
You wanna go look? All right, we're gonna see if it follows New York State's definitions.
Okay.
Is it?
Go ahead, Al. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Mike Foley from Reeves Park, and I'm a member of Sound Park Heights. Just like to start off by reading a 3-sentence email that was sent to you this morning at about 10 o'clock. You probably didn't get a chance to look at it. It's from the president of our association, Tom O'Hare. Mr. Walter, on behalf of the Sound Park Heights Incorporated organization and the homeowners in the Reeves Park community, I am sending this note to voice our concern over the farm stand issue that will be on tonight's agenda. Until all of the inconsistencies and gray areas within the proposal are worked out and can be more completely defined, we are concerned that this will open the door to mega farm stands and shopping areas in the once rural corridor of Sound Avenue and surrounding regions. We ask that this vote be postponed until further investigation can be done to allow a more consistent and comprehensive plan to address this important issue. Thank you. I just want to start off by saying, George, I appreciate your explanation earlier here. I don't have a lot of information on this plan. I do know some of the concerns of people whose opinions I value and trust are, and the first thing starts at increasing the local area from Nassau, Suffolk, Kings, and Queens County to a 250-mile radius. We're concerned that that can be abused. And I know you're not looking to abuse the farmers out here. We all cherish them. We all love the farmers out here. And we all want to see them flourish. But we are concerned about some unintended consequences. I look, for instance, at the 14-acre parcel on the corner of Tom Kelly Drive and Sound Avenue. We've been fighting since 2003. And with the board that's out here now, I look at Jim Wooten, and I look at John Dunleavy, and I look at Sean Walter.
You don't see him, right?
Well, you know, sometimes I have a vivid imagination. But I look at three board members in particular, because when this fight started, you guys were new. And the indication was that you were supporting the Brody property to be expanded into a strip mall. And the, what's the name of the other guy? The Barra property to be turned into a strip mall. And this was part of a master plan, Sean, and I'm coming to this because you mentioned 2000 getting involved in this. And the master plan that had these problems was developed 3 years after that. So I think the timing on it, from what I've heard here in the last hour, has some relevance. I look at the initial position of John and of Sean and of Jim that basically were in support of it, but you kept an open mind. We filled hearing rooms for years, and within a year or two, you guys went from supporting strip mall development there to 100% supporting open space. We could not have done that without you.
I never supported the strip mall there.
Say that again?
I never supported the strip mall there. If you remember the initial meetings with your lawyers, their lawyers, it was all about working this out to be sold for the Barra property for open space. Brody had nothing to do with because he was a client.
Sean, I wasn't at the meeting. All I was told was early in your tenure, at a meeting that I was not at, I was told that your sentiment was it was a done deal.
Never happened.
Okay, I trust your recollection of history. I wasn't there. The point I'm trying to make is that you guys supported open space 100%. I saw Sean, I saw Jody, I saw a lot of people at these meetings at the county and state level where you guys were some of our staunchest supporters. And as a result of that, some of you were at the September 11th memorial, what could have been a strip mall, but instead is a beautiful part of our historic rural corridor on Sound Avenue. You guys should take a bow for that. I've seen a lot of you get beaten up about you guys not being in support of open space and everything else. My personal experience tells me different in regards to that. Now I'm just going to segue to this 14-acre parcel. Because, George, I do believe, as a farmer, you have the interests of the farmers at heart. I have no doubt about that. And I kind of think the same about everybody on that dais right now, except you're a farmer. Nobody knows the farmers better than you do. So I'll just ask from a rational standpoint. I look at some additional farm stands that have come into play in the last couple of years. I look at Schmidt's on Roanoke and Sound. This is a guy that used to sell horseradish out of a jar, and you pulled into a dusty parking area for 2 people. Now there's room for 15. You know something? It fits. Schmidt's fits, okay? And we want to see whatever happens here fit. But I look at some of the unintended consequences. I look at a random billionaire that might want to break in here. Yeah, and instead of putting a farm stand, putting a Gristides. I think that's what Castum or what's his name had, right? That took over Northville and tried to bring in all these trucks and everything else that are on hold. So I look at a Castum or what's his name, putting up a Gristides on that 14 acres because he's going to take the 250-mile circumference that we're now allowing under this proposed rule, and he's going to expand on it. And we don't want to leave this up to code enforcement. We want you guys to take a hard look at unintended consequences here. George, yes,
Oh,
please.
Christides, you have to prove you're a farmer and grow it on that site. You know what I'm saying? He has to be a bona fide farmer growing it on a site.
In regards to that 14-acre parcel that everybody here is familiar with.
Right, well, that's not even anything to do with this legislation. It's at APZ, and if anything now, that side of sounding is gonna be more restrictive.
And I heard you, I heard you say
That's
that.
not even the APZ.
And George, I heard you say that, and I know you believe that. But me being an amateur on this stuff,
Right, you know.
and not knowing the legalese in regards in this proposal,
Yeah, right.
what would stop Castum or what's his name to purchase the growing rights on that 14 acres, which it's my understanding the county purchased basically the rights to grow, keep it open space, keep it agricultural, and leave it strictly for farming, passive or otherwise. What would be to stop Castum or what's his name to purchase the growing rights on that 14 acres, put up a farm stand, start to till the soil behind it, and then put in whatever the hell he wants to because that's what he does? What's to stop him from
Okay,
doing
that's
that?
preserved land, am I correct?
I think it is preserved from real estate and
Right.
from commercial, but I believe it can still be grown. I
Right,
believe it can
be
still
grown
be
on.
used
So
for
at that point, we
agricultural
have people here from
purposes.
the Farm Select Committee can address that question, but being preserved land, they've gotta be approved, that's not allowed use in commercial use, am I
And they gotta
correct?
go through the county farm preservation
And then
committee
local,
and
right.
then the local.
You
farm
cannot open a retail on preserved land.
Well,
You can have a
I-
farm stand, but that would be it, and it has to be approved by the Farm Select Committee and the county's preservation.
George, I hope all of those things provide the fail-safes that we need to prevent abuse of what is being proposed here. I've seen things be abused because there wasn't a light shown on it, or somebody had the wrong intention when this was built, when this was proposed. And you don't know until 5 or 10 years later. So that's one of the concerns that I have here with the 250-mile rule. And again, I might be wrong on that as it equates to
That wouldn't be local, I
these-
know you mentioned 250 local, that would not be local, that'd be regional. Local is grown on the farm 60%.
Right, and the other 40% could be from anywhere within 250 miles?
Right now, it could be, the 40% can be from China. It could
Okay.
be from California. It could
Okay,
be
so
from
That's being
anywhere.
more restrictive, we're pulling it back.
Okay,
We're
so
gonna
you,
be
so you believe
unlike-
this
we'll be-
actually
we'll be
enhances the farmer's position? here?
Exactly, we're
Okay.
gonna be unlike the supermarkets, we
Okay.
can bring it in from around the world. We're
Okay.
taking it back, we're trying to protect the local farmers.
Well, I appreciate your time. I just have two more points to make real quick. You know, one of the other concerns, obviously, is when you see farms increase in number, that they have the same audience that is availing themselves of all of these farm stands. At what point is there a tipping point where you increase the number of farms to the extent that nobody can earn a living? That you're basically cannibalizing on the existing business. That's a concern that I have for the farmers that are in this room and something I hope you consider. But the last thing is they talk about the imperfection in the language. And I just want to read very quickly that 108-125 as proposed would allow a farm stand to be built with as little as 1 acre in ag production, 2 acre APZ minimum with 50.1% devoted to farming. But 108-22, paragraph C, section 2 as existing, requires a minimum number of 7 acres. How does that square? If we're getting into a resolution that is now out of conformance with an existing paragraph, I don't know how that doesn't get met with an awful lot of flack from people that are prone to doing that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Foley. Next speaker. How you doing, sir?
My name is Hughes, Tom Hughes. I'm a homeowner on Sound Shore Road. And I agree with Mr. Barbado and his comments. And I agree that you have the best intentions in mind here, but I think you have to worry about the branding. North Fork right now, and Riverhead is the gateway to the North Fork, is branded as the the place people come through to go out to see our vineyards, to go out to see our farms. This wasn't the best weekend, but next weekend, hopefully, the crowds will be back, and they want to buy locally grown products. They don't come out here for our vineyards, or they do come out for our vineyards, not for our liquor stores. So they're coming out here for locally grown, and I think it's important that that remain a priority in the town of Riverhead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else like to be heard? All right, not seeing anybody, let's take up the resolutions, Diane.
Do you want to do the CDA first?
Date? Oh, I don't think he knew it.
You got,
You
does
want
anybody
to
else
comment?
want to be heard on resolutions? Because we're going to move forward. No?
I just see no.
Hold on.
Good afternoon. David McLaren. I'm from Jamesport. I've been in agriculture for 42 years. I chair the Riverhead Town Ag Advisory Committee, and I serve on the Long Island Farm Bureau Local Affairs Committee. I've been working on this in conjunction with a lot of other people, a lot of other committees for over 3 years, and we've solicited advice from wherever we can, from whatever people want to comment on it. We meet once a month. It's a public meeting, open to anybody who wants to attend, and certainly have not seen anybody come to our committee and complain about anything regarding this. And all the local town committees have the same mandate, that they have to allow people to come and comment on things. And part of the problem in this process is it doesn't, like politics, it doesn't serve everybody 100%, make everybody 100% happy. But when you look at farming out east here, and what it's intended to do is survive, be sustainable, the master plan asks that we do that, and we're trying our very hardest to keep agriculture a sustainable way of life. And by cleaning up some of the, things that in the language now aren't really effective and fair to everybody, has been our objective. The 250-mile rule is in place to protect a farmer who's had damage from a hurricane or a pumpkin crop that had a blight that destroyed it at the last moment. So and vineyards have had blights wipe out their crops as well. And it's really put in there for protection in case they have to pull from somewhere outside the area to try to salvage the crop for the year and stay in business, And those things that's what they're put in there for, not for any other reason. The farm stands don't want to bring in things from outside of our area. We want to put 100% of what we grow on our stands shelves so that we can make money. And if we bring things in from the outside, we don't make money, So the objective isn't to bring everything in from outside the area. Our objective is to try to stock as much as we can from our own shelves. So that's why, that proposal was put in there. Regionally, however you want to call it, is just part of the problem. I understand that. But the intent is good and the intent is fair. And we certainly don't go out there with the intent of abusing that privilege.
Mr. McLaren, I have a very basic question. I don't want to pick on the pumpkins, but I've been pumpkin hunting since I was 3 years old. And and I don't want to ask a loaded question, so I'm going to ask it this way. Can we produce in Riverhead the number of pumpkins that the consumer wants? Could we produce in Riverhead, in all of Suffolk County, the number of pumpkins that the consumers want and actually buy on our farms in Riverhead?
That's impossible, practically impossible. The demand is incredible. 3 years ago, Newsday had monitoring stations at the corner of 105 and 25, 105 and it goes down to the Hamptons. And on Columbus Day weekend, over 1 million people came out to the East End on the North and South Forks to go, looking for wine, pumpkins, mums, whatever else, and it's part of the fall scene. And so that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of product to produce. And there's other farms that could go into that. They choose not to for whatever reason, but it's not enough is produced in the area. So that's grocery stores have them, farm stands have them, drugstores have them. Now everybody has them. But producing what here? No, it's impossible to produce all to satisfy our needs.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Next speaker, Mr. Rodkamp. And I have bought pumpkins, so he has these big giant ones that you need a sawzall to get into.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Rodkamp. We have a farm on Sound Avenue. We've been there since January 3rd of '67. My ancestors came here in the middle of the 1800s, and we've been farming ever since. And I hope to continue to farm, and I hope my sons will follow in our footsteps here. I'm in favor of the farm stand code. We don't want to see farm stands run amok, so there needs to be a little guidance on how they're run. Everything I've ever bought or purchased in my life was earned from the land. True blue farmer, no matter what. Some people may talk here and have an opinion. Where did they earn their living? Where did they pay their taxes? Where did they get the money? How hard did they work? I'm going to be 61 years old. I'm not ready to quit yet. And the only thing I know is agriculture. My father had me on a tractor when I was 4. I was growing my own tomatoes when I was 7. And I'm a farmer, going to continue to be a farmer, continue to run a farm stand. We have had problems in agriculture, growing enough product, or we can grow the product, but if you get a hurricane or some adverse weather, in 1992, we lost 60 acres of pumpkins. There was a feeling that you got in your gut, you couldn't get rid of it, to see that damage. We had to purchase pumpkins from out of state. Last thing we wanted to do. After we spent the money to grow the stuff, then we had to go buy more. My father went in debt so we could continue to supply the customers we have on Long Island with pumpkins. That was the first time we ever did it, and the last time. Every once in a while, we may have to purchase something from out of state. You just can't help it because of weather conditions. So I'm in favor of the farm stand code. I hope there's some guidance. There needs to be a little bit. We don't want things to run amok if it can be controlled a little bit. That's my feeling. Anybody has a lot of free time, come on down. We've got a lot of work to do. This is the last place I want to be today. I want to be home.
Mr. Rodkamp also, in my humble opinion, has the best corn in Riverhead. I'm sorry. There may be some other corn farmers out there, but that's the place.
I hope the resolution gets passed. I hope everybody is going to be happy with it. I can't stay here the rest of the afternoon. I got a lot of work to do. And I'm short help. So if you got extra energy, instead of sitting here, we got plenty of it. And so does every other farm. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Rodkamp. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board. I'm Anthony Coates. I live on Roanoke Avenue. That is exactly what Grown in Riverhead is supposed to be about. Mr. Rodkamp, I dare say, I've had his corn, I've had his pumpkins. So that's exactly what we should be true to about Grown in Riverhead. Those words should mean something. I think that the law should be amended so that in case of a blight or in case of of emergency, that should be the exception and not the rule. Also, I would ask that I'm aware of the case in East Hampton years ago. I would question when you open up to regional purchase how under interstate commerce you then can shut off other states from participating. There was a famous case in East Hampton where that was the case, where once you've opened up the floodgate to expanding out the periphery, calling it regional, I question whether you can shut down the market based on interstate commerce considerations.
Can I make a comment? I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay.
We're not opening anything up. Right now, you can bring your produce in from China. I know you came in late.
Mm-hmm.
There's no regulations in Riverhead right now. This is actually limit, we're being more restrictive. We're saying instead of bringing you lettuce like the supermarkets do from all over South America, et cetera, we're gonna bring that into 250. It's more restrictive than existing code with the farm stand can do right today.
So you're saying that
As of today.
produce from California or Oregon is permitted under this?
Not under this. Before, this is restricting it to that.
And my,
As of now, there's no restriction for mile limits. The mile limits, it can come in from anywhere.
and that's my point.
This is more restrictive, we're bringing it back.
I understand, and my question is whether that will hold up under interstate commerce. Will
What's
that
the
hold
case?
up?
What's the name of the case
Well,
that you're
East
referring
Hampton,
to?
it was, I don't know the name of the case. I have the research, I'm happy to send it. But in East Hampton, there was a case where under interstate commerce, and I'm happy to provide it to the board, under interstate commerce, that was a consideration as to whether or not you're able to close up the market once you've taken it out of state. Is anyone familiar?
Not with
not
that
I think-
case, but
I think legislation can restrict, I mean, we were talking about medical marijuana dispensaries as to where they can exist. And I think that there have been
I don't see
cases-
how one has to do
Well,
with the other.
because you can restrict the area to which you're getting material from. You can restrict an area where something can be located. So I don't think that by doing this, we're gonna basically go back to the code that we have now, which allows you to bring it in from anywhere.
I
But let's
would
look-
ask you to take a look at what
let's-
happened in East Hampton years ago when it became a consideration of interstate commerce, whether you're
you're looking at
permitted to.
interstate, not, because New York State Ag and Markets allows us up to maybe 600-700 miles to bring it to Long Island.
I think
Anywhere in
one,
the state of New York, so you go here to Watertown, you're probably 600 miles away.
but if you're setting the parameters in a sphere that takes out of state, I would question whether you're able to shut down the market just by calling it
So
region.
you're saying it should stay away with no mileage limit, bring it in from China.
No, I don't like.
I'd rather be more restrictive.
I don't like the
You know
bill
the
at all,
difference is, a supermarket right now that's bringing stuff in from all South America, Central America, that's where this food comes from, we don't want that on farm stands. That's where we're being more restrictive. Now we can do that. That sets us apart.
As I said,
But we
yeah,
heard, yeah,
we do.
we heard
we
you.
do.
We heard
Yeah,
you. I heard
we
you.
do differ, and I've spoken up a number of times about this. I would ask you to take a look at that. I'm prepared to send that to the board. Again, you've heard me speak before. I don't care for this legislation. I think that the words "grown in Riverhead" ought to mean something. Thank you.
Next.
They wouldn't want to be able to sell T-shirts that says "Grown on Long Island."
Good afternoon. My name is Rob Carpenter, Administrative Director of Long Island Farm Bureau. I had a chance to address the town board last week at the work session, and submitted our comments. Farm Bureau has come out in support of this legislation. I've spoken to many farmers, both on the Ag Advisory Committee, on the Farm Select Committee, and individual farmers in the town of Riverhead, and in particular farm stand owners in the town of Riverhead, who have said that this piece of legislation is an excellent start in coming up to codify the farm stand code. I would also like to say that I agree with Councilman Gabrielson that this legislation will help preserve the prime soils, as now you are requiring that a farm stand application have some backing that they actually have to grow on property. So, thank you very much.
Sir. Mr. Wines.
Good afternoon. I'm Richard Wines from Jamesport and a member of the Farmland Select Committee, as well as of the Farm Bureau and their Riverhead Affairs Committee. I do want to correct one misunderstanding it seems to be prevalent in the room here today. There is nothing in the proposed farm stand code that defines local as being something from 250 miles away. There's nothing in the current version of the code that says that, so that's a total misunderstanding. The important part of the code is that it does require that a farm stand has to be run by a real farmer, basically. He has to have a real farm, and he has to produce 60% of the produce on the farm. I think that's very substantial. It allows them to have enough flexibility to run a real business and do some other things they might need to do. But the important thing is that it requires real farmers, real production, real farms, and in order to have a real farm stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wines. He's smiling. You knew I was going to say something, right?
Matt Pendleton, Chair of the Local Affairs, Rob asked me to just basically mention that we did have it go around the entire committee to look at, which is just not people that are on the board of Farm Bureau. It's other growers, organic farms, and so forth. So that's where Farm Bureau gets its stands, as well as the local affairs. The second thing I would just ask is, it seems like if people have these problems in regards to this, then why aren't they coming to the Ag Advisory Committee, which I sit on, and so forth? Dave McLaren chairs it. He does a nice job. Why aren't they airing their grievances with it then? I haven't seen any of these people.
Matt, when do you meet? Let them know.
I don't know.
Dave, when do you meet?
The second Monday.
It's on the website. There you go.
It's typically the second Monday of the month
All
at
right.
the 7 o'clock.
So,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Town hall too, 'cause it's on the calendar.
Okay, does anybody else wish to be heard? Not seeing anybody. Diane? Chris?
Is she here?
He was here. Well, Diane, you can, let's,
Coming in now, I think everyone.
there you go, Chris. Cut right across the front, you're good. Wow, you changed the font on this.
Yeah, we all caps.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we close the town board meeting and open up the community development agency.
Second.
Second.
Thanks, John. I mean, Jim.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
What? Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
and the CDA meeting is now open.
Okay, hold on. Diane, where John Dunleavy moves and seconds something, do you want me to do it just for
Sure, that'd be
consistency?
great.
Sake?
Yep.
Okay. Chris, we need an amendment to this resolution. The last whereas clause, it says the town, it should be the agency, is considering entering into a runway use agreement with Illuminati Aerospace LLC. Not the town, it's the agency.
Okay.
So if we could make that, Bob, you had that change, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And if that's it, we can move that resolution?
CDA Resolution Number 13, a resolution calling a public hearing on the Community Development Agency's designation of Illuminati Aerospace LLC and 400 David Court LLC as a qualified and eligible sponsor under a runway use agreement for the Easterly Runway and associated taxiway and tie-down area, consistent with the goals and objectives of the Calverton Enterprise Park Urban Renewal Plan of 1998, and authorizes the publication of public notice.
George, can you move that?
So moved.
Jody, second?
Second.
Sorry, I was getting
Moved and
distracted.
seconded, vote please.
Wooten,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
And the resolution is therefore duly declared adopted, and that completes the business of the CDA.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the town board meeting, CDA meeting?
Anne Marie.
I'll move that we close the CDA meeting and reopen the town board meeting. So moved.
I second it.
Okay, seconded by George. All in favor, aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Did we get that language? We're in conversation? No? Okay.
Yes.
We have it?
Yes.
Okay.
You got my vote?
Yes.
Yes.
It's already been
Yes,
approved.
Yes, yes. I
I
said
was,
yes.
no, I was asking if we had the language.
No,
Okay.
I think she's obviously got that.
Okay. All right, so, Ms. Kempter, you're done, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate,
Are we ready to move?
Diane, if you
Okay,
could move the
sure.
resolutions.
Resolution 687.
Riverhead Central School District Water Capital Project Number 30128, budget adjustment. So moved.
Seconded.
Oh, I'm sorry, seconded, Here I am,
You gotta
seconded,
flip the
moved and
court.
seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 688.
Scavenger Waste District Budget Adjustment, so moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 689.
689 is the Stoneleigh Retirement Community Phase 4 Water Capital Project number 30123. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 690.
Riverhead Water District Budget Adjustment, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 691.
Authorization to publish advertisement for paint for the town of Riverhead as amended. So moved.
Seconded, moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 692.
Authorization to publish advertisement for propane fuel for the town of Riverhead as amended.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded as amended.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 693.
Authorization to publish advertisement for specialty vehicle for the town of Riverhead Human Resource Center. So moved as amended.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 694.
Authorization to publish advertisement for work closed for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 695.
Extends bid contract for auto truck repairs in 2015. So moved.
Seconded, moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 696.
Authorizes the creation of appointment to members of a mobile home manufactured home advisory task force. So moved.
A second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 697.
Appoints members to the town of Riverhead Mobile Manufactured Home Advisory Task Force. So moved.
And seconded?
Just discussion, Jody, do you want to be a member of it or just the liaison? Usually the council people aren't, are we ever members of any committee?
You can put me as liaison.
I think you're just liaisons, right?
That's fine.
Says member of the town board, but you'd be your rep.
Yeah,
It
that's-
says-
The wording's a little different.
What's that?
It says member of the town board, so, but it could
As a
say
member of the
liaison
town
to the
board.
town
Yeah,
board.
no, I'm just
That's
thinking
fine.
it would be-
Liaison is typically what we do.
Yeah.
Yep.
You said something about taking this out of order.
If she's liaison, then you only have 6 members and you don't have a majority.
Okay, so put me, I'll put as a member and then we can change it in the years to come.
Oh, I see.
Why don't we put Sal as a member? That's fine, we'd never had a town board member as a member of a committee, I don't think. I don't care if we do 6 and just come up with a 7th member, Jody, we've never done it. It doesn't bother me, but we're not members of other committees. We usually let them function independent of the board and make recommendations to the board.
Right, but you
And
have
your
to,
opinion would be?
So you can have 6, if we
You
put a
just
fifth.
put somebody on.
Put somebody on later.
okay, that's fine.
Anybody else?
Right, so have Jody as
Emery.
as a liaison, and then we'll find another member. I own a manufactured home, can I be a member? No, I'm kidding. Where were we? We digress.
I don't, did we second it?
So, Jim, did you call
I think
it
I
right?
moved it.
And
As-
seconded?
As amended,
As
moved and
amended.
seconded as amended, and Councilman Giglio will be the liaison to the committee, and so it'll be a 6-member committee.
Until we find a 7th.
Does that work?
Yes.
Okay. Moved and seconded as amended.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution.
Somebody on there too.
Resolution adopted. Okay,
Because
so
John is
John's
as an
on.
owner.
John owns,
Manufacturer.
That's problematic too.
that is problematic too. Okay, well, let's work on that issue too.
Okay. Resolution
That was
698.
the other one, I didn't realize it.
That was recommendation of the town attorney, Emery Prudenti.
Accepts
Wanted to raise that.
resignation of the principal accountant, George.
Yes. Accepts the resignation of the principal accountant. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 699.
Appoints a part-time police officer. So moved.
And seconded, moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 700.
Ratifies the attendance of 2 police department employees to the TASER instructor recertification. So moved.
Shocking.
Mhm.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 701.
This ratifies the appointment of a call-in bus driver to the recreation department. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 702.
Accepts highway superintendent's personnel report and request for town board resolution to effectuate personnel request. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
This is filling a vacancy in the highway department, yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 703.
Approves agricultural worker housing for Elizabeth B. Schaffner pursuant to 108-64.4. So moved.
Oh, sorry, seconded. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Well, you guys get them all highlighted.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
No, that's my highlight.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 704.
Ooh, that's me. Authorizes the acceptance of a security for Browning Hotel Properties LLC Foundation. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Now we have to take this out of turn, I guess.
Which one?
This one has to go, 705
proposal
has
is
to go after 707.
We're asking you to take 705 after 707.
Want to just renumber them?
No, just, because that screws up all your, okay, so you want to adopt how do you want to do that? Just switch them, swap them? Okay, so.
So then we'll switch
do
the
that.
numbers.
Fix it up, yeah. So
Okay,
this
so
will be
this-
05.
705.
70,
Right?
you just want to do 707 is 75?
Yeah, just swap the
And
numbers.
70,
Yeah. Take 5, 7
705
to
is
75.
707.
Okay.
Correct.
That works, we'll fix
That
that up.
works.
Okay, resolution number 705, right?
Yep.
Okay. Adopts a local law amending Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Riverhead Town Code, addition of Article 25, Farm Stand Review. So moved.
And seconded, moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
I can certainly appreciate everybody's concern about this, and maybe the appearance of being rushed through, but it is a long process. It's been over 3 years for this. Actually, this only affects the APZ zoning. It doesn't affect your RB 80. In fact, if people wanted, the way the current code is written right now, we would have had 97 farm stands on, if people wanted farm stands. So this is not going to encourage farm stands to come in, because right now, the way this is being written is you have to have greater than your current zoning. So if you have a 2-acre zoning, you need greater than 2-acre zoning. So it's not going to make it attractive in those areas. It's going to keep the rural character that we want. And it's going to protect the farmers that are there that do have the soil and do produce, like Mr. Rutkamp said. So it certainly makes sense. Will it need to be polished? And most laws do. As you put it in place, you tweak it if you have to. But it's a good start, so I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 706.
Adopts alcohol policy of the town of Riverhead. So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 707.
This is dopes. So dopes are dopes. Adopts a local law amending Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Riverhead Town Code. Article 6, Agricultural Protection Zoning Use District, APZ. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
And
Yes.
thank you, George, for
Walter.
working so hard on this.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 708.
By Delabero.
Authorizes supervisor to execute a lease renewal agreement authorizing the town to lease a vehicle from Suffolk County Office for the Aging for transportation services for elderly residents.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote
Did you
please.
say so moved?
Oh, I'm sorry, so moved. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 709.
Authorizes Cushman and Wakefield of Long Island Incorporated for marketing, sale, and lease at 542 East Main Street. Suffolk County Tax Map 600-129-335.2, known as East Lawn Building. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 710.
And we do have the resolution.
We have the
attachment.
we have the attached there, so, okay.
Yep.
You have it right, Diane?
Yes, I do.
Authorize supervisor to execute agreement, Evo Easy Pay LLC and Systems East, Inc. So moved?
Moved and seconded as amended, and amending to attach the contract. So,
Moved and
a
seconded.
second.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, EVO does a fine service for the town, yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 711.
Extends license agreement, non-proton with Bishop McGann Mercy High School for use of 127 McDermott Avenue, renumbered 30 McDermott Avenue, Riverhead, New York, for outdoor storage of rowing boats. So moved.
And seconded. Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, it's just to the middle of November, yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 712.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 46 entitled Alcoholic Beverages of the Town of Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded. Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 713.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider adopting a local law to override the tax levy limit established and set forth in Article 2, Section 3C of the General Municipal Law. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes to public hearing.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 714.
Authorizes the Town of Riverhead Senior Citizen Advisory Council to facilitate an invitation to the downtown Riverhead business community located within the Business Improvement District to participate in a senior citizen discount week on December 6th through the 12th, 2015, inclusive. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes, and I just want to thank my staff, especially Carol Scalfani, Joe Packard, and John Dunleavy and the Senior Citizen Advisory Council. They're really doing a lot of work between the Senior Citizen informational book they put together and now a Senior Citizen Day downtown. They're doing a great job, so I look forward to this being successful. And that was a yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 715.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post a public notice for a public hearing regarding an alleged unsafe structure located at 307 Griffin Avenue, that's Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York. Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-128-3-119 pursuant to Chapter 54 of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 716.
Amends Resolution 671-2015 and incorporates additional road as Town of Riverhead 189 Road. Adds Hickory Lane, Baiting Hollow. So moved.
And seconded. Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
I'm going to abstain. I didn't get to speak to the highway superintendent about that yet.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 717.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an aircraft loan agreement with the Department of the Navy. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yeah.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 718.
Authorizes agreement between Tanger Properties Limited Partnership and the Town of Riverhead in connection with the 2015 Black Friday sales and December 2015 holiday sales.
Take
The,
that agreement out
The new
and put the
agreement.
new agreement because they actually pay the actual costs, not
And they changed the language for
the
Labor
rated
Day
cost.
to
yes.
Black Friday. Okay, good.
So moved with the new attachment.
And seconded with the
Moved and
attachment.
seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
As amended with the new attachment? Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 719.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider local law to amend Chapter 93 entitled Sunday Activities of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded. This came out of code revision as a request of Councilman Dunleavy.
Getting rid of the blue
Good.
light
Thank you for
laws.
the revision.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
That's a welcoming thing.
Yeah,
I
as
know,
I
right?
mentioned, this came out of code revision at a request of Councilman Dunleavy, and if any of the public feels that there's a problem with the town code, they can definitely make a recommendation to the Code Revision Committee, and we will review it and discuss it, and then bring it to the board. So that's what Code Revision Committee does, is review requests for amendments to the code. So I'll vote yes for this one.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
What? No.
Walter.
Those lone soccer games.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 720.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice for a local law to consider amendment to Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Riverhead Town Code, Village Center Microbreweries. So moved.
Seconded, moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
And just hold for a second. 721, Bob, I think this resolution also, does this need the amended Tanger agreement? Because this actually
Should have
has,
a dollar amount.
this one has the actual amount?
This is
Okay.
the
Yeah,
Labor
it
Day,
should have
so
a
we
dollar.
wait till next year for
Yeah,
this.
there should be an amended agreement which actually show that they paid.
Okay, so this is the right resolution, agreement for this.
The one I have is not the right one. It has
That says Labor Day, doesn't it?
it has a amount per hour, but they actually
146
paid an
amount.
amount which has already been received.
Okay,
And that was
so,
on the actual amount.
That's correct.
So this is.
All right, that's right.
Okay.
Past
so
Labor
should
Day.
we take this agreement off?
Well, it's substantially the form attached, so it's not a major change. What, on page 2, compensation,
Right?
and as I don't have it in front of me, instead of it saying Tanger did
You wanna
pay
look at it?
blank sum, it just, they paid a certain dollar amount, which was the agreed upon amount, and I don't have that amount off the top of my
Okay,
head. So the agreement's going to be amended to reflect that they actually paid. I think
The
it
actual
was-
dollar, here,
It was
give me
the
language,
actual figure, but I don't know what
give
the
me
number is.
language you want, I don't wanna play
Why don't we
attorney on
just-
TV.
Can we just change the cover page and say that the supervisor is hereby authorized to accept payment in full for services rendered for Labor
Well,
Day?
there's an agreement, so we'll just amend that agreement.
Well, the
Yeah, that
agreement,
agreement.
it says in substantially the form attached. So
I
I don't
just
think
wanna-
it's gonna be a substantial change, but
No, just put that the
I'm gonna,
amended to the amount billed was received or something.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm not so sure that you should have it per hour rate. I mean, you could have the calculations attached, not the general contract.
dollar amount for approximation, but that was the language that the final agreement's gonna have.
Okay, so it's gonna be changed, compensation, paragraph 3, in consideration of the police personnel and patrol cars which were provided for traffic control and related purposes at the outlet center, Tanger did pay the town the sum of approximately $9,888.46, which sum was agreed to, upon.
Was agreed upon by the party.
By the party, between the parties.
Right.
Okay, so that
Okay.
makes sense. Good.
Yeah, what's that?
Ratifies agreement between Tanger Properties Limited Partnership and the town of Riverhead in connection with Labor Day sales. So moved.
One second, as amended.
Moved and seconded as amended.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
That's much better language. Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Do you want this language or did you write it?
I do,
right?
thank you, I
Okay.
appreciate it. 722.
This authorizes the retention of the law firm of Steinrich, Kossakoff, and Messina LLP as special counsel to institute legal action against the owners of property described as 4070, Middle Country Road, Calverton, also described as Suffolk County Tax Map 600-98-1-16.5. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 723.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post notice the bidders for calcium hypochlorite tablets for the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 724.
Authorization to discard fixed assets, computer towers, monitors, laptops, peripherals. So moved.
Seconded, moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 725.
Pays bills. Moved. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 726.
726 ratifies the execution Suffolk County grant for fiscal year 2015 Community Development Block Grant Fund. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 727.
727 authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice for the public hearing regarding U.S. HUD Community Development Block Grant CDBG 2016 funds. So moved as amended.
And seconded as amended?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, now we finish our official business and we open it up to anybody that wishes to bring a matter before the town board. We ask you to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Does anybody wish to be heard today? Not seeing anybody, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded, moved and seconded. Vote, please. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
And we'll see if Molly made it through. I heard you say something. She had a fractured hip. So she's been hospitalized.
I like it.
It's
Landing.